Welcome to the Golden Hour, brought to you by Friendship Haven. Together we celebrate life, stories, and connection. Support for this show comes from Fort Dodge Ford, standing by our community every mile of the way. With the support of Fort Dodge Ford, we're proud to share these stories with our community.
We are bombarded with anti-aging messages every day. We do not hear enough about aging well. We happen to have great access to people who are not only aging well, but are doing so with grace, dignity, and humor. Growing older is not about slowing down always. It's about living fully, laughing often, and sharing wisdom. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us for stories from the experts that inspire and uplift. My name is Julie Thorson, and this is The Golden Hour. Today's guest is Father Jim Tigges, one of my fan favorites. And Father Jim, we're starting right away. You're going to be considered an expert today, and we're talking about aging well.
Okay.
So you have to tell us, I've learned, I'm not going to ask how old you are. How many years young are you?
80.
80. You celebrated a milestone.
That's right.
Well, in all fairness, I will confess too, I don't know if I'm expert status yet, but I'm getting there. I'm 52.
All right.
So I have a little while to catch up to you, but not much. I'm approaching.
Right.
So as we're talking about living well, aging well, let's just start right off the bat. What do you think the keys are to aging well?
Proper taking care of yourself, for one thing, number one. Listening to what other people have to say and not being the one to always give the answer. You know, watching, observing. I think you really have to be open to observing what other people are saying and thinking and doing so that you yourself can, if it agrees with me, then I might be able to do that also. But if it's something that is beyond my expectations, you have to be wise enough to know enough is enough.
Yeah.
And scale back.
What great advice. I want to unpack all of that because you just dropped some truth bombs there that we need to come back to. Okay. But before we do that, I want everybody to know a little bit more about who Father Jim is. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
A priest for 54 years. I worked in high school and grade school. Was a guidance counselor. Did spiritual direction. Have done spiritual direction in the past. Come from a family of 5, and I'm the youngest in the family. And so, of course, that creates a lot of opportunities to do things with the family. Maybe just being open to what's coming rather than fearing what's there.
That is exactly who you are. That has been something I've admired about you for years. Okay. But I want to go back to, you said 54 years you've been a priest.
Right.
So, okay, here's the next obvious question. What does it mean to be retired?
I wish I was.
No, you're still doing lots of work.
I keep telling people I'm retired, but I get tired again and again. That's retired for me. But retirement would not be sitting around doing nothing. You know, I'm one that has to be active, and I certainly enjoy the opportunities of Welcome Center, of the gift shop, of saying Mass when I can, and being out. The big thing the last month has been getting to know more of the people at Friendship Haven and working with them. The one thing just in the last month was serving at the dinner at noon in Kenyon Place, helping out with taking the drink order and whatnot. And they're kind of surprised Father would be there doing that, but they're so enthused about it.
So in the traditional sense of the word retired, where people stop working, that really isn't a part of who you are.
It's not really a part of the priesthood either, because you're always a priest. Once a priest, always a priest. And you're either going out helping in areas when other priests call or something. So it's not But it's a change. It's a melting down, so to speak, easing off the responsibilities of running a parish, perhaps, or running a business, but you're still doing the things that you were ordained to do, listening to people, celebrating with people, things like that.
And you've been such a big part of life at Friendship Haven for years now. What do you think the priesthood, being a priest, being that spiritual counselor for so many folks out at Friendship Haven, what has that done to your longevity or to you growing old successfully?
I think it's been a process of getting to know who I am after all the years of being active, doing things in the classroom, doing things in the parish, running the parish, things like that. It's the opportunity to step back a little bit and observe. Again, observe is a big thing, and learn from that observation what people want and need. And I have always prided myself on being able to observe enough to know when people are hurting, perhaps, or when people need a hug, or when people need a chance to talk.
How do you do that? How have you figured that out?
I think it just comes with practice, primarily.
Not everybody figures that out, though.
30, 40 some years of being around kids.
Makes a difference.
Makes a difference. Definitely.
So when you wake up in the morning, what brings you joy? What gets you out of the bed? What makes you want to tackle the day?
I think coming up to the big house, I call it, on campus.
You've got to explain that, because not everybody even knows what Friendship Haven is.
The big house is the central unit. Kenyon Place, River Ridge, the gardens, and then coming to the Celebration Center to offer Mass, and seeing the people come to Mass and being able to give them something to chew on during the day.
Now, I'm reluctant to ask this question, but I'm super curious how you would answer this. So a lot of times when I interview people for positions or for jobs, I would say, how would your coworkers or how would your friends describe you? I'm going to put you on the spot here because I just am really curious how you'll answer. The folks that you provide Mass to every day, how would they describe you? When I say, tell me about Father Jim, what would they say about you? This is your chance to brag on yourself, by the way.
Well, looking back in the 9 years I've been there, I think it's basically, they would probably say he's being open to what we want to do. He's being honest of who he is in the process, and he's welcoming them the opportunities to grow also as a person.
Absolutely. What a gift you've been to our campus, for sure.
Thank you.
When we started this conversation and I asked you about the keys to successful aging, you talked about your physical, how you're feeling physically. What are your tools or techniques, or how do you stay physically so fit and active? And you're always on the go. I never see you sitting still. You're always moving. And what's the key to that for you?
I think the walking, one thing that I did really the first 3-4 years, because I was taking Skip around, one of the residents that has died. But I think then the swimming, into that those are the two keys: walking and swimming. To exercise is important.
Mm-hmm. And what about there's plenty of people your age or younger that haven't.
They're all older than I am.
Everybody is. But that physical routine, or that walking or swimming, it's just really not a part of their daily routine. Why would you tell them that it is important?
I think it stimulates not only the body, but stimulates the mind. Mm-hmm. Once you sit down, the best example is people who get electric chairs. We had a case yesterday that a man wanted to buy the chair that was there, and he said, if I sit down and use that chair, I won't walk again. Mm-hmm. So I think that the necessity of being on the go, not so much really active, but just on the go and wanting to go, that encouragement encourages them to stay healthy.
Right. Keep moving. Keep moving.
Keep moving.
So when you think about 80 years old, and you think about what people who are, say, in their 20s or 30s, misconceptions or stereotypes or thoughts they have about 80-year-olds that just aren't true, what would those be, and how would you want to try to change that thought process about turning 80 or being 80?
We're still human. We're still alive. And we feel, that whole, we don't I bleed when I cut myself, or, those whole things. It's a attitude. And I think we have to develop an attitude of gratitude for what God has given us, and the opportunity and the encouragement that other people then give to us, knowing that you're that old, But very often, if I mention something about being 80, they look at me and say, you don't look it and you don't act it.
And how does that make you feel when somebody says that?
Pretty good.
Why do you think that's such an interesting comment to me? You look pretty good for your age. What is that? Why don't people just say you look very nice? Why does that for your age have to be on there?
I think that's just something that's rooted in people, that they have that misconception that when you get to a certain point in life, there's nothing there anymore. And that's sad. And when you go into a place like Friendship Haven and see the activity level of so many people in that that live there, it's just amazing to me how they can enjoy life and keep going. That it's just marvelous.
Yeah, we have people 70s, 80s, 90s, and well into over 100.
That's right.
Talk a little bit, Father Jim, about over your 80 years, how have your relationships changed, evolved, grown as you've grown older?
I think it's been I would have to say, a process of evolving from knowing who I am, sharing that with other people, and allowing other people to share their story. Because I think we're all in it together. But if we don't stop and listen to what other people have to say and how they are sharing life with other people, then there's nothing for me to grow. There's no place for me to grow.
That's one thing that when working with team members, I'll say often, what happens when we stop learning?
Right.
And we stop growing. And
right.
What happens when we stop growing? I mean,
right. I think the phrase "stop and smell the flowers" appeals to me, because when people can stop and appreciate what's happening in their life and apply it maybe to somebody else's life and encourage them so that they can come back. So it's a process of give and take.
Absolutely. What is a moment that has happened lately that has reminded you not to take life so seriously?
I would have to go back a couple years in my relationship with Skip Ostrander. And after Skip died, that really left a hole for me. And amazingly, every Sunday morning when I come up and to the parking lot outside the bird cage, I would step out of the car. My first thought is, I wonder what Skip's doing this morning, as if I'm going to go visit him again. And that's stuck with me now since he died. So that has really changed, and said, you gotta be aware of what's happening in your life, and take the minor trivialities that happen, the minor aches and pains, and live with them, and enjoy what's happening around you now, because it won't always be there.
What great advice. It brings me to a more serious question, but I think a really important question. And again, with your wisdom and your background, what can we learn about life through death?
That death is only a step, another step in the whole chain of life, because it's a step into a new life, a new age. I really, very honestly, think about that more often here in the last 6 months. What is the future? What's going to happen? And if we can approach very calmly that God is working in our life, and that once we accept the fact that God is always present there's nothing nothing's going to happen that we can't handle, because God is always present there with us. And I really holding on to that more and more every day, that you really have to. I'm just beginning to read a book about the rules for living, in a sense. I can't remember the proper title of it, but the first 2 chapters, one was be yourself, secondly, pray, and secondly, be aware of what's happening in your life.
Wonderful. Friendship Haven, as you know, we've been around 75 years this year.
Right.
And we came from the Methodist Church, and Methodist parishioners asked Reverend Dr. Clarence Tompkins, can't we do something better for God's older children? But we are a non-denominational community, and welcome all religions. We talked a little bit earlier about your role in being a priest and the priesthood, how that's helped you as you've grown older. But what about just faith and how you approach faith and consider faith with those around you and for yourself? How has that contributed to your healthy aging?
Well, faith is believing in God and believing in yourself. And if you can make that connection and keep that connection hand in hand, then you have a better opportunity to express yourself by what you say and what you do, but also to accept, all in that whole process is accepting and allowing yourself to be open to what God has planned for you. Not what I want to do, but God, what do you want me to do with my life?
Beautiful.
Accept that.
What would you say, Father Jim, about overcoming adversity? Adversity and being resilient, and especially as we grow older, sometimes there are physical setbacks.
Sure.
What is your approach to overcoming adversity?
Acceptance, prayer, and again, in that acceptance, accepting what you can do. It's not always the negative. What can I do? I can't do that anymore, but what can I do? What positive thing is there in the midst of anything that happens? And if a person can open themselves to, they may face a death, they may face adversity, they may face a fall and break a bone, but what is that in there? What can I still do? And what can I be open to? Because the possibilities are there. I really believe the possibilities are there if we accept what's happening in our life.
Yeah. And great advice, regardless of age.
Yeah, right.
Right? I think
Definitely.
there's people that are a lot younger than you and I that haven't figured that out yet.
Right.
So what do you think is, I loved when you said earlier, we are still here. We're 80, we're still here. Right. But what is that misconception about growing older that you would like to clear up? If you could, I'm going to set the record straight. What would that be?
Look at the people around you and see what they have contributed to life so far, and what can they still contribute. It's been a good learning experience for me being at Friendship Haven these last 9 years, to be accepting of people and their difficulties, perhaps, or their. But at the same time, it's amazing what people can still do. The 2 ladies that do puzzles, just poring over that every day. It's just remarkable what they can do.
That's their passion, for sure.
Or somebody else that has gone, I've known have had a lot of difficulties and still are smiling, open. We've got to do that. That's the misconception is, well, you can't do anything anymore, but you can. Yeah. It's a positive attitude of living each day as it comes.
And we happen to laugh quite a bit.
Right.
We do
Laughter
have a lot
key.
of... What's that?
Laughter is key.
Well, tell me about that. What has laughter and humor and, telling jokes and, what does that have to do with growing older?
Well, again, it's all part of that acceptance. It's all part of that being open to what life gives to you. Ray and his wife, wearing the T-shirts. Somebody said the other day in the fling sale, oh, there's a T-shirt that Ray Sharp might want to wear.
People don't know we have a neighbor
Right.
that lives at Friendship Haven, and he comes up with the wildest T-shirts,
Right.
And they
It's
make
just
you
amazing.
stop and scratch your head,
Right.
and laugh
And always
laugh.
having fun and laughing. That's a
absolutely.
big thing.
Well, each episode, Father Jim, we end with some speed round questions, okay? So we ask these same questions every single episode, and we're
Okay.
going to put you on the clock here,
okay,
okay?
all right.
And just come up with whatever comes to you first. So what is something today about technology that surprises you?
That I can't do it.
That surprises you.
That surprises me.
It's hard to keep up with, isn't
Right,
it? Isn't
definitely.
it? What is something, Father, from your teen years that would surprise people?
I was shy and retired. When I went to college, there were 6 guys in the room, and I sat over in the corner by the bed.
That does surprise me. You were more introverted?
Introverted, very shy.
Really?
I came from a farm, off a farm to a big city, to a big college. Didn't know anybody. So I was one in the back, didn't say a word.
Well, and that certainly wouldn't be you today, right?
Probably not.
What is something about you today, not from your teen years, but what is something about you today that would surprise people? Oh gosh, I don't know where this is going to go.
I don't know where it's going to go either, but surprise people would be, I think, getting back to the advancement in technology, that I'm not sufficient in that at all.
And that's okay. We get by,
I
right?
get by without it because I got enough other people around that will help me
That
out.
help you out. I love it. So who surprises you?
What do you mean?
I don't know. What do you think I mean? Is there someone that surprises you?
Can I name them?
Sure.
Holly
Oh,
Garton, retired and kind of like me when she first came in, but now is very open, kidding around. She wants to know when I'm going to be there, if I'm going to be there Sunday morning, and whatnot. But
so you're
she is
talking about
really-
a fellow resident that you've
Right,
gotten to know.
fellow resident.
I'm gonna break my own rules here, but you've mentioned a couple of folks that you've met along the way, and isn't that something that's pretty special? Is having this campus where you can make new friends and
That's
meet
right.
new people.
Definitely, and they all have a gift to give, and they're all open to what's happening around them, and that's a neat thing to see how they come out of themselves.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so you notice there's a theme here about being surprised.
Sure.
So were you surprised today? And if so, why were you surprised today?
I was apprehensive more than surprised.
About?
Just what was going to take place, because I've never been in a podcast before.
Oh, so you've tried, this is a first
This is something
for you.
new, right?
Well, you're doing a great job.
Well,
You're dropping truth bombs.
I'm happy to do it.
Yes, I'm happy you
to
are
go.
here.
Yeah.
And the final question, Father Jim, is a tough one, but I feel like you're going to nail it here. What advice would you give your younger self?
Don't be afraid to try new things. Because I think growing up, I missed some opportunities through grade school, high school, and college. But I think it's the big thing was when I was ordained in 1971, it didn't hit me till after I was ordained that I said, oh, good God, I got to get up and give a sermon next Sunday off the altar. So it's been a process of trying new things and being open to doing new things. And then with the family, as the family has grown, they keep asking me to come and have weddings. I have a wedding this coming Saturday out in South Dakota. To do those things, stand up and do things, and then they say, Father, you got to do this, or you got to do that. Just being open, I think. I lost some opportunities along the way, but I made up for it since I was ordained.
Oh, you've made up for it plenty, and we're so glad you choose to share your gifts with us. You have certainly been a joy to have at Friendship Haven. And, so many of us look to you for guidance and wisdom and just that smile or hug or reassurance. And
I appreciate that.
And I want to thank you for trying something new.
You're welcome.
And joining us for the Golden Hour. It's been a joy.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Jim.
You're welcome.
As we wrap up today's conversation, we're reminded of why this podcast is called the Golden Hour. Just like the golden hour in photography, when the light is softer, warmer, almost magical, and everything seems to glow, aging brings its own kind of brilliance. It's a time when perspective sharpens, humor deepens, and life's beauty shines through. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, may you continue to find light, laughter, and joy in your own golden hours.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.